Hi guys, Rose here with the Cackling Moon. This is going to be a client's spirit guide reading. And for this reading, we're going to be pulling cards from the Art of Love Tarot, as well as the Psychic Tarot. So just a couple of my faves. And before we begin the actual reading, I want to pull a couple cards on your spirit guide. Just to give an idea of, you know, the kind of energy that we're dealing with and what they're all about in your path, because we're going to be reading about your career. So I kind of want to see, you know, what guide is going to be coming through for you for that. I will say, prior to starting this reading, that I was feeling male energy from a guide. So, and it's a young male, and when I say young, I'm not saying kid age, but I'm feeling it was like 20s, 30s or so. So, you know, younger male. And this particular guide is very like a jokester, but they're also, they know how to be serious, but they communicate to you in terms of joy and happiness. So they have a sense of humor, basically, when they're communicating with you. So you may find messages from them through the form of laughter or things that make you fun, that make you laugh, or a quote or a joke, or through people who make you laugh, but they say things that just like really hit you in a strong way. So that's how I'm feeling for your guide. But let's pull just a couple cards to see what kind of energy this guide brings forward. So we have the Magician, the Four of Stars, and the Page of Hearts. So yeah, page for the guide coming up is very much what I was feeling. Pages are considered youth or young personality types in the tarot. So like I said, your guide has a very youthful nature to them. They're in their 20s or 30s if you were to put an age to this energy. And it's a Page of Hearts, so that's similar. That's actually the Page of Cups. So like a loving standpoint. Four of Stars, advancement, and we have Magician Impulse. So the Magician energy is pretty much saying like this guide is here to kind of teach you lessons of. Magician energy is creating your future, your path with the talents that you already possess. So I feel like this guide is here to help you with your future walk, but they are also trying to get you to see that you already possess the talent to do the things that you want to do in life. They're just here to kind of shine a light on that, you know, about that. So we have the heart chakra. We also have the throat chakra in reversed. So the heart chakra is saying like when your guide is reaching out to you, it's in a loving sense, a loving energy. They associate with your heart chakra. So if you are into, you know, meditating to connect with your guide, I strongly urge focusing on the heart chakra, making sure that is strong, but also crystals that have to do with the heart. So obviously rose quartz would be a really good one to use, but I also feel like green crystals, because green is the color that embodies the heart chakra. Now you also got the throat chakra, but it's in reversed. So this could be there's a blockage in communication. So either you're not listening, or your guide has is struggling with getting the right kind of messages or signs to you for you to understand. So it's one or the other, or it could be a mixture of both. If you are not seeing the signs for what they are, you doubt a lot, or they're just not obvious enough, that kind of thing, then that's what I feel like your guide is kind of struggling with you. Let me turn on my candle. There we go. Okay, so now that we kind of have an idea of your guide's energy, let's get into the reading. So your question is regarding a specific job that you're thinking of taking on, but you are not sure if this is going to be, you know, the right move for you, and you want to know, basically, should you take the job opportunity, or should you stick with what you have right now, and will it benefit you in the long run? The job opportunity that you were asking about, you didn't say anything about as far as what it is and all that, but you did mention that you doubt your ability to be able to be successful with it. And so that goes hand in hand with, like how I was saying with your guide, the lack of communication between you and your guide is, I feel, goes alongside with you doubting yourself constantly. So I feel like that is a struggle with you. But that's what we're going to look at. So, okay, so we have Ace of Hearts, we have love, the Moon, the Lovers, Empress, Two of Hearts. Oh, so basically what's coming through is also an energy of a vibration of love. And I feel like your guide is basically wanting to say, in order for you to know if this position, if this path is going to be right for you, I feel like you need to ask yourself, does it reflect your needs, your interests from a heart perspective? You got the heart chakra in the psychic tarot reading. And so I feel like you have to ask yourself, does this position reflect the interest that you have from a heart source? Does it reflect what you need on a heart level? Basically, is it something that you're passionate about? Because you got the Heart card, you got Lovers, Two of Hearts. It's a union. You want to make sure that the position that you are taking is reflecting your passions, and it is reflecting something that you are creatively into. Basically, it should not be a position that you are taking merely for the money. It also needs to be something that you feel passionate about, and that reflects your interest in who you are too, because the Empress, she's all creative energy, but the Empress is very fertile, and when she's present in a reading, she kind of reveals abundance in the future. So I do feel like there would be abundance, but it would be abundance in a position that is reflecting your heart, your passions. So that is something you got to ask yourself. So the Psychic Tarot is actually giving me more of the answer. We have the Firm Foundation in reversed. We have Emotional Withdrawal in reversed. And we have Love Begins in reversed. So my intuition, and based on the cards, is telling me that this position doesn't reflect solely, and I feel like this camera, there we go. I feel like it was a little bit blurry. It doesn't reflect solely what your heart desires. I feel like this position isn't, it doesn't reflect what the cards are kind of asking you to ask yourself. Is it something that you are passionate about? Only because with the Emotional Withdrawal in reverse, the Love Begins in reversed, it's almost like you are very, very, very hesitant for a reason. And I want to say that may be because your spirit guide is telling you something, and your intuition is telling you something about the situation. So I don't like to say, yes, you have to do this, or no, don't do that. I'm leaving this completely open for you to make your decision. But I feel like based on what the cards are showing, you need to ask yourself when it comes to this position, this job offer. You need to ask yourself, is this a position that reflects my heart? Is it what I am passionate about? Will I love doing this? Or am I doing this for the sake of money, or the sake of it's an opportunity? And I feel like sometimes, I know myself included, I'll struggle with the fact that just because you may be offered a position doesn't mean you have to take it. Just because someone offers you a job doesn't mean You have to take it. So I feel like I also have to say that too. Because we apply for jobs in the moment when we think, oh, this would be good. This might be good for the schedule. This might be good for the pay. And then later on down the line, after we've done an interview or two, when we kind of feel out the space, the energy of the space or the position, we kind of realize, oh, this actually isn't what I wanted. But we get a job offer and then we think that we have to take it, and you don't. So I just want to make sure you are aware of that too. So let's pull on, let's just pull on the future. And remember also, the future is subject to change based on your present actions. So I feel like I just need to pull cards to show like what's to come and some advice for you. So we have the Three of Trees, we have the Knight of Hearts, and the Two of Trees. So trees, it's earth energy. Earth is money, it's your materials, it is your growth, it's abundance. And you got two earth cards. And then we have right in the middle, the core, we have the heart, okay? And this is your spirit guide, the Knight of Hearts, right? We got the Page of Hearts before. So at the core, it's like, it's asking you, one, to trust your spirit guide. Your spirit guide can also resemble your higher self, your intuition. So trusting in yourself and also taking into great consideration your heart. What is your heart saying? What is your heart desire as far as your career path goes? And then we have the Three of Trees, we have the Two of Trees. These are early numbers, 2 and 3. So that tells me that like in the future, you are going to be, growing from the bottom. So your path is freshly started, okay? You're freshly into it. So it does tell me that there is going to be a shift, in career path. We have King of Stars and we have Shadow and Fear. We have the 10 of Trees. So 10 of Trees, again, abundance, okay? And this is like the closing of the path, the cycle. 10s is the end of the cycle. And what I pulled here is either or. We have King of Stars and the Shadow. So lots of fears concerning making the wrong decision. You do have a lot of struggle fear-wise with your thoughts. Your ego gets in the way. I also feel that intuitively that your ego gets caught up in thinking that you got to do this when your intuition is pulling you in another direction. I think that is a constant lesson for you. I feel that too. That you have found yourself in other predicaments too, where your intuition was guiding you to do one thing, but you listened to the ego, which is yourself, your mind, and you opted to do the opposite. So that to me is it just tells me that that's like it's a lesson that you have had to go through multiple times, and I feel like you're in it again. We all go through these lessons though. Like I'll tell you, I go through my own as well. It's really hard to quiet the mind process, the thoughts, you know, when they tend to speak louder than your intuition, which is why I said like your intuition is all in your heart. Your guide is coming forward like from the heart source, and that is where you're going to get your definite answer. And it's in your gut feeling. So I feel like you already know the answer to your question. You just needed a validation. So I hope that is what this reading does for you. It validates your feelings because I feel like you already know what you need to do. So let your intuition guide you, and let my words be, you know, kind of like a light for you to shine light on the path that you already know you should be taking. And I hope that you make that decision based on what you need to do. I pulled the Hope card in reversed. I pulled Truth, and I also pulled Obstacles and Challenges. So you're very much aware with the Hope card in reversed. You were very much aware of your lack of strength in terms of believing in yourself. I do sense from your energy a lot of hesitation, a lot of self-doubt, insecurities in yourself. I feel a lot of that from you. I feel a lot of like, you fail to listen. Like I said, you fail to listen to your heart because your mind speaks so loudly. Okay. So I see that, but I also know that you realize the importance of truth. And, a lot of the truth that you're going to find is, silly enough, it's within your heart. Your heart is it's the center point of your being, of your body. The heart chakra is the main chakra in yourself. It's like at the center between the other three below you and the three above you. And if your heart chakra is strong and you are, filling yourself with love energy, positive energy, you are trusting in yourself, you will feel strong. And you will be brave enough to make the decision that you need to make. So truth is important to you. And sometimes the truth is not always what we want to hear because we're afraid. We realize we have to face fears when we're facing a truth. And then also the 5 card, or the obstacles and challenges card, came up for you too. So I feel like because this was the future sense, there are obstacles awaiting you to cross paths with. And then, not everything comes easy. There's always an obstacle and a challenge, especially when we are embarking on an intuitive journey. Things will start to kind of, you'll know when you're following your purpose, your passion, because everything will feel like it just happens so smoothly. But there will always be obstacles no matter what path you take, whether it's the right path or the wrong path. And I put those in quotes because I feel like even though you may think one path is wrong or you made the wrong decision, you will ultimately, because of destiny, and I feel like I'm a firm believer of fate and destiny, you will find yourself again. It's just like you took a minor detour. Okay, so never fear making the wrong decision. It may simply, the worst case scenario is delayed time in obtaining the outcome that you desire. So, but I am a firm believer of things just falling into place, and they happen for a reason. So when I end your reading, I want to kind of end it off with some guidance. So let's see. Oh, we're ending it on the Page of Hearts. And the Page of Hearts, like I said, we started the reading with the Page of Hearts. That was your spirit guide. Your spirit guide is ending. They are showing you love. I mean, there's a giant heart at their core. Tree energy is big for you. So to me, it's like growth and plants. Trees are plants and life. But I feel like with the Page of Hearts, it's just kind of saying, really focus on your heart center. You really need to pay a lot of attention to, what is it that your heart desires most? What do you need? What will sustain you financially, but what will also, complement your passions, being able to find a balance between the two. And I know it could be tempting too. I found myself in the same cycle, taking on a position that I thought would be good for me at that time. But really it was solely for the money that I was doing it for. And it turned out to be worse than I needed. So that's why I'm really firm when I say make sure that when you do take on a position that it's coming from a heart center and not, ego or money or not, superficial reasons. So we have Pisces, Pisces Austrinus. This is intuition, which is what we were just talking about. So intuition is big here for you. Intuition is the way that you will communicate with your guide. It is the way your guide chooses to communicate with you, but it's also a need for you to trust your intuition more, especially when you ask yourself questions of, should I take this opportunity or not? We have scudum, safety. So safety to me is saying, be very cautious in your decision makings. Make sure you think everything through. Make sure you consider every option. And safety is also just make sure that you're considering your own personal comfort and benefit from the situation versus the benefit of other people. Okay, so I also feel like that's what that means too. And we have sculptor. This is manipulate. So don't let yourself be manipulated by listening to your ego. Don't let yourself be manipulated by your own self. We could be our worst enemy, you know, our self-doubt, our ability to listen to the louder voice, which is our minds versus our hearts, that kind of thing. So I feel like manipulate is like you were easily manipulated at times through your fears, and our fears always come from an ego source. So there is your message, my love. I hope that, you know, I really wanted to deliver the message in a way that allowed you the freedom to make your own decision, because I am not here to tell you what to do. I'm just here to simply guide you through multiple pathways, but also to shine a light on the situation. And hopefully that will spark your intuition, that will allow you to create a space for yourself and your guide to commune and discuss. I feel like you have a lot of things to consider. I feel like you already know what you need to do. I feel like this reading, hopefully my wish is that it will validate the feeling that you already have inside, and that you will do what you need to do that is necessary. But I also want you to keep in mind, don't fear making the wrong decision, because even when we make wrong decisions, like I said, destiny has a way of making us come back to where we need to be, to have a do-over, or sometimes wrong decisions give us new experiences that we wouldn't have experienced if we hadn't taken that path. So I don't want you to fear making the wrong decision. I want you to really focus on what is your heart telling you, and what are your needs, your specific needs, and what are the reasons why you would take on this position, you know, and let that help you make your decision. So thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. I sincerely hope that this gives you the guidance, the strength, and the knowledge to make your decision. I wish you all of the best, and I hope that you have a beautiful connection with your guide from this day forward, now that you have an idea of, you know, who they are, what they're all about, and I wish you all of the best, my love. Thank you so much for allowing me to read for you. And anyone who is watching, if you would like a reading for yourself, please click the link below. It will take you to my online shop, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, loves.